Good morning, doctors. Welcome again. Today we are going to discuss about pulmonology MCQs. Let's start. A 24-year-old man with no past medical history presents to the emergency department with pleuritic chest pain. There is no history of productive cough and he is not short of breath. Chest X-ray shows a right-sided pleural pneumothorax with a 1 centimeter rim of air and no mediastinal shift. What is the most appropriate management? So you should pause this video and think which is single best answer. Pause should not be more than 1 minute. Try to solve this MCQ in 1 minute or in 30 seconds. Okay. So I will write the answer. So discharge with outpatient chest X-ray. Let's discuss why. It would, of course, be prudent to give advice about what he should do if his symptoms worsen and also suggest routine follow up with his general practitioner. Okay. Now, 45-year-old man noted to have bilateral hilar lymphadenopathy on chest X-ray. Which one of the following is least likely cause? So, you can pause this video, same condition, and think which is single best answer. So, single best answer here is amyloidosis. Let's discuss. Amyloidosis is not commonly associated with bilateral hilar lymphadenopathy. Okay. 41-year-old female present with 3-day history of dry cough and shortness of breath. This was preceded by flu-like symptoms. On examination, there is symmetrical erythematous rash with target lesions over the whole body. What is likely organism causing these symptoms? Same question. Pause this video and think which is single best answer. So single best answer here is Mycoplasma pneumonia. Let's discuss. In Mycoplasma pneumonia, we see erythema multiforme, encephalitis, GVS, pain myocarditis. This is hemolytic erythema, encephalitis, in Legionella, lymphopenia, hyponatremia, and diagnosed urinary antigens. Okay, so hope it's clear. 29-year-old woman who is 14-week pregnant present to the emergency department with an exacerbation of asthma. She quickly settles with nebulized salbutamol and you are asked to review her prior to discharge. She currently only uses a salbutamol inhaler 100 microgram as required and thinks that the most common trigger in grass pollen. Her peak flow is now 380 liters per minute, predicted 440 liters per minute, and inhaler technique is good. What is most appropriate course of action? So guys, pause this video and think the single best answer. So the single best answer here is add inhaled beclomethasone 200 micrograms BD. Okay, yeah. The British Thoracic Society guidelines make it clear that short acting over long acting beta 2 agonist, inhaled oral and corticosteroids should all be used as normal during pregnancy. Okay. Which one of the following types of lung cancer is most associated with cavitating lesions? So, cavitating lesions is most commonly associated with, pause this video, think squamous cell carcinoma lung. Squamous cell carcinoma lung most commonly associated with smoking also. So remember, while the other type of lung cancer may cause cavitating lesion, it is most commonly seen in squamous cell cancer. 66-year-old man present to respiratory clinic with worsened shortness of breath. He is otherwise well and is retired dockyard worker. He is lifelong non-smoker. On examination, he has fine crackles at both lung base. A chest X-ray shows fine reticulonodular shadowing at both lung bases and several pleural plaques. He undergoes pulmonary function testing. Which of these pulmonary functions test fits with likely diagnosis? So, same condition, pause this video and think which is single best answer. So, the single best answer here is forced expiratory volume in 1 second is 60%. So, hope it's clear now. Okay, I left two questions there. We can discuss these two also. Have to wait. Okay, 65-year-old female with a history of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease (COPD) reviewed in emergency department. He has predicted with sudden worsening of her dyspnea associated with hemoptysis. What is most single suitable initial imaging investigation to exclude pulmonary embolism? That is computed tomography, pulmonary angiography. Okay, now I will explain you something here. Yeah, let's see. Wells grading we see here. When DVT, clinical signs, symptoms of DVT like minimum leg swelling, pain, palpitation, DVT, point 0.3. Remember 3 points. Alternative diagnosis less likely than pulmonary embolism, point 0.3. Heart rate more than 100, 1.5. Immobilization for more than 3 days or surgery in previous 4 weeks, 1.5. Previous DVT or pulmonary embolism, 1.5. Hemoptysis 1. Malignancy, 1 point. Pulmonary embolism likely more than 4 points or pulmonary embolism unlikely less than 4 points. Okay. More than 4 points, arrange immediate computed tomography or pulmonary angiography. If delay in CTPA, then give low molecular weight heparin until the scan perform. If unlikely less than 4 points, arrange D-dimer test. If this positive, arrange immediate computed tomography, okay, pulmonary angiography, or low molecular weight heparin until the scan perform. Okay, CTPA or VOQ scan. CTPA is now recommended initial lung imaging modality for non-invasive pulmonary embolism. Advantage compared to VQ scan include speed, easier to perform out of hours, a reduced need of further imaging and possibility of providing an alternating diagnosis if pulmonary embolism is excluded. If the CTPA is negative, then patient do not need further investigation and treat to pulmonary embolism. Ventilation perfusion scanning may be used initially if appropriate facilities exist. The chest X-ray is normal and there is no symptomatic concurrent cardiopulmonary disease. Okay. 70-year-old man who is known to have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease admitted medical admission unit with a suspected infective exacerbation of COPD. What should the target oxygen saturations be until blood gas are available? That is 88 to 90%. 88 to 90%. Okay. Now we'll start discussing that MCQ. Yeah. You are reviewing the results from investigation requested at the previous respiratory clinic. A 40-year-old man is being investigated for increasing shortness of breath. The notes show he smoked for the past 25 years. Pulmonary function test reveals FEE1 1.4, FVC 1.7, FEE1 over FVC is 82%. Which one of the following is most likely explanation? So the most likely explanation here is kyphoscoliosis. It is due to kyphoscoliosis. The result shows a restrictive picture which may result from a number of conditions including kyphoscoliosis. The other answers cause an obstructive picture. Okay. 46-year-old female with the history of rheumatoid arthritis, investigated due to progressive shortness of breath, is currently treated with methotrexate and ibuprofen. The following results are obtained from spirometry. FE1 over FVC. What is the most likely cause of dyspnea? So this is a cause of bronchitis obliterans. Let's discuss. Spirometry reveals an obstructive picture which would be keeping with bronchiolitis obliterans. Okay. 62-year-old female with 40-year history of smoking, investigated for chronic cough associated with hemoptysis. She has no medical history of note and still works as a school secretary. Bronchoscopy reveals a 1 centimeter tumor confined to the right main bronchus. Biopsy taken shows small cell cancer, lung cancer. Extensive staging investigation show no evidence of nodal spread or metastasis, giving a TNM grading T1 N0 M0. What is most likely diagnosis and management? So here the management should be referral for consideration of surgical resections. Okay. Surgery still play little no role in the management of post patients with SCLC. But recent studies in addition NICE 2011 lung cancer guidelines support the role of surgery in very early stage disease. Okay. 60-year-old patient with non-allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis present to the emergency department with an exacerbation. Which of these therapy represents the most appropriate management? So in such condition we have to give oral glucocorticoids. Oral glucocorticoids. Mainstay of treatment for allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis is systemic glucocorticoids such as prednisolone, which is slowly tapered over the course of 3 to 12 months depending on regimen. Oral antifungals are often used as adjuvant and may help reduce long-term glucocorticoid use. Both itraconazole, voriconazole may be hepatotoxic and patients should be monitored for evidence of hepatotoxicity. ABP and asthma may coexist, and in this instance, patient may benefit from nebulized therapy. However, this does not form part of routine treatment of ABPA. Okay. 72-year-old man who is known to have CKD, chronic kidney disease stage 4, admitted to emergency department since yesterday. He has felt short of breath on exertion and has been coughing up blood. On examination, he is tachycardic at 110 per minute and normal chest examination. What is most suitable initial investigation to exclude pulmonary embolism? So, pause this video and think carefully. CKD in chronic kidney disease CTPA angiography is contraindicated for pulmonary embolism investigation. So we have to go here for ventilation perfusion scheme. Okay, yeah. CTPA is now used first line to investigate possibility of pulmonary embolism. Patient with renal impairment, however, should be offered ventilation perfusion VQ scheme as contrast media used during CTPA is nephrotoxic. Okay. 24-year-old female with history of anxiety is taken to emergency department following an acute onset of shortness of breath. On examination, the chest is clear on auscultation, but respiratory rate is raised at 40 breaths per minute. A diagnosis of hyperventilation secondary to anxiety is suspected. Which of the following arterial blood gases result taken on room air are consistent with this? So this is best answer here is PS 7.34, PCO2 2.7, and PO2 15.4. Sorry, the correct answer is PS 7.54 is alkalosis, metabolic alkalosis. PCO2 is 2.4 and oxygen is 14.2. Hyperventilation will result in carbon dioxide being blown off and causing alkalosis. Okay, now 31-year-old woman is referred to the acute medical unit with a 4-day history of polyarthritis and a low-grade pyrexia. Examination reveals shin lesion which the patient states are painful. Chest X-ray shows bulky mediastinum. What is most likely diagnosis? So the most likely diagnosis here is Lofgren syndrome. It is Lofgren syndrome. Loeffler syndrome is a cause of pulmonary eosinophilia thought to be caused by parasites such as Ascarias lumbricoides. But this is a Lofgren syndrome. This is similar like a sarcoidosis. We see bilateral hilar lymphadenopathy, polyarthritis, low-grade pyrexia, and we see erythema on shin also. Okay. 24-year-old female comes to review. She was diagnosed with asthma 2 years ago and is currently during salbutamol inhaler 100 micrograms combined with beclomethasone dipropionate inhaler 200 microgram BD. Despite this, her asthma is not well controlled. On examination, her chest is clear and she has a good inhaler technique. What is most appropriate next step in management? So we have to add here salmeterol or long-acting beta agonist. Let's discuss. British Thoracic Society recommended adding long-acting beta 2 agonist if there is inadequate response to addition of inhaler steroids. The inhaled steroid doses should be increased if there is an inadequate response to the long-acting beta 2 agonist. Okay. 31-year-old female with no past medical history of note is admitted to hospital with dyspnea and fever. She has recently returned from holiday in Turkey. Clinical diagnosis pneumonia is made. On examination, she is noted to have ulcerated lesion on her upper lip, consistent with reactivation of herpes simplex virus. Which organism is most associated with this examination finding? That is, Streptococcus pneumonia is associated with cold sores. Streptococcus pneumonia commonly causes reactivation of herpes simplex virus resulting in cold sores. Okay. 24-year-old woman who is 34 weeks pregnant present with pleuritic chest pain and shortness of breath. He has noticed some pain in her left calf of her 3 days and examination she has clinical signs consistent with a left calf deep vein thrombosis. What is most appropriate investigation? So firstly you have to pause and then think. So the most appropriate investigation is compression duplex Doppler. Okay. Confirming DVT is the first step as this may provide indirect evidence of pulmonary embolism. Both conditions require anticoagulation. This may negate the need of further radiation exposure. Okay, yeah. Confirming DVT is the first step as may provide indirect evidence pulmonary embolism. Okay. Guidelines of DVT pulmonary embolism investigation. 2015 by the Royal College of Obstetricians. Key points include ECG and chest X-ray should be performed in all patients. Compression duplex Doppler should be performed if the chest X-ray is normal. This may provide indirect evidence of pulmonary embolism and negate need of further radiation exposure. A decision of performing VQ or CTPA should be taken at local level after decision with patient radiologist. CTPA slightly increases the lifetime risk of maternal breast cancer, increased by up to 13.6% background risk of 1 by 200 for study population. Pregnancy make breast tissue particularly sensitive to effects of radiation. VQ scan carries a slightly increased risk of childhood cancer compared with CTPA. D-dimer is not limited use in investigation of thromboembolism as it often raised in pregnancy. Okay. 79-year-old man admitted with a right lower lobe pneumonia as well as showing consolidation. There also appears to be moderate sized pleural effusion on the same side. An ultrasound guided pleural fluid aspiration is performed. The appearance of fluid is clear and is sent for culture. Whilst awaiting the culture results, which one of the following is the most appropriate factor when determining whether a chest tube is placed? That is pH of pleural fluid. pH of pleural fluid. Okay. Patient with frankly purulent or turbid cloudy pleural fluid on sampling should receive prompt pleural space chest tube drainage. The presence of organism identified by grain stain and or a culture from the non-purulent pleural fluid sample indicates that pleural infection is established and should lead to prompt chest tube drainage. Pleural fluid pH less than 7.2 in patient with suspected pleural infection indicates a need for chest tube drainage. Okay. Which one of the following paraneoplastic feature is least commonly seen in patient with squamous cell lung cancer? In squamous cell lung cancer, we least commonly seen here is thing guys, Lambert-Eaton syndrome. So in squamous cell we see PTH, clubbing, hypertrophic pulmonary osteoarthropathy, whereas small cell ADH, ACTH, and Lambert-Eaton syndrome. Okay. Which one of the following marker is most useful for monitoring the progression of patient with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease? So the best answer here is FEE1, forced expiratory volume in 1 second. Okay, let's discuss. You see this chart and read by your own. Post bronchodilator, if more than 80%, then it is mild. If 50 to 79%, second moderate stage. 30 to 49, 3 severe stage. Less than 30, stage 4 or very severe. 24-year-old man admitted with acute severe asthma. Treatment is initiated with 100% oxygen nebulized salbutamol and ipratropium bromide nebulized and IV hydrocortisone. Despite initial treatment, there is no improvement. What is next step in management? According to 2016, yes, it is IV magnesium sulfate, but in new guidelines, according to 2019, the answer is non-invasive ventilation. Here the explanation is wrong, but answer is okay. 29-year-old man present to emergency department with dyspnea. He has no past medical history of note other than the fractured ankle 5 months ago. On examination, he has reduced breath sounds on the left side. The trachea is central and oxygen saturation are 98% at room. Chest X-ray pneumothorax left side 3 to 5 centimeter 3.5 centimeter rim on ear. There is no midline shift. What is most appropriate initial management? So the initial management here is go for aspiration. Let's discuss. British Thoracic Society guidelines would advocate aspiration in scenario given absence of secondary cause. For example, asthma. In according BTS oxygen guidelines, there is no indication of giving oxygen. Okay. 24-year-old heroin addict admitted with an overdose. He is drowsy and respiratory rate 6 per minute. Atrial blood gas result taken on room air. What is most consistent this? So here is the answer is pH 7.3, PCO2 7.4 and partial pressure of oxygen is 8.1. Developed respiratory acidosis secondary to hypoventilation. Okay. Respiratory acidosis may be caused by a number of conditions: COPD, decompensation in other respiratory condition, example life-threatening asthma, pulmonary edema, sedative drugs, benzodiazepine, opiate overdose. Okay. 20-year-old man who has a family history of alpha antitrypsin deficiency has genetic testing. The results are received. A1AT genotype PIMZ. What is likely outcome? Most likely. So, no evidence of lung disease. Heterozygote patient such as those with PIMZ genotype have alpha 1 antitrypsin level approximately 35% of normal. They therefore have a low risk of developing clinical evident lung disease. Okay. Now, you can pause this and read this by your own. Okay. 19-year-old man present as he is concerned he may be asthmatic. Which one of the following points in history would make the diagnosis less likely? So, the less likely diagnosis is caused by peripheral tingling during episodes of dyspnea. Okay, yeah. Which one of the following least associated with Cartagena syndrome? That is malabsorption. Let's discuss about Cartagena syndrome. Cartagena syndrome, also known as primary ciliary dyskinesia, was first described in 1933 and most frequently occurs in examinations due to association with dextrocardia, quiet heart sounds, small volume complexes in lateral leads. Pathogenesis: Dennin arm defect results in immotile cilia. Features: dextrocardia or complete situs inversus, bronchiectasis, recurrent sinusitis, subfertility secondary to diminished sperm motility, and defective ciliary action in a fallopian tubes. Okay. 44-year-old man who is known to be HIV positive present with shortness of breath. Which one of the following features is most characteristic of pneumocystis carinii pneumonia? So, the best answer here is normal chest auscultation. Let's discuss. Now, 52-year-old woman with history of breast cancer admitted with acute dyspnea. Her respiratory rate on admission 42 per minute, oxygen saturation 87 on room air. Pulmonary embolism is suspected. She is transferred to the high dependency unit after being treated with oxygen and enoxaparin. Which of the following would be strongest indication for thrombolysis? So the strongest indication for thrombolysis is hypotension. Is hypotension. Okay. Massive pulmonary embolism plus hypotension is thrombolysis. Okay. 67-year-old female referred to acute medical unit with effective exacerbation of COPD. Despite of maximal medical therapy, atrial blood gases continue to show type 2 respiratory failure. You are asked to consider non-invasive ventilation. At what pH is most likely to receive benefit from non-invasive ventilation? So the best answer here is pH 7.29 is pH 7.29. Okay. Evidence of surrounding the use of non-invasive ventilation in COPD shows the pH in the range of 7.25 to 7.35. Achieve most benefit if the pH is less than 7.25. Invasive ventilation should be considered if appropriate. If pH less than 7.25, then invasive ventilation should be used. Okay. 35-year-old female with sarcoidosis is started on course of prednisolone. Which one of the following is suitable indication for commencing steroid therapy in such patients? So, the best answer here is hypercalcemia. Hypercalcemia. Let's discuss. Okay. 54-year-old man investigated for chronic cough. Chest X-ray arranged by GP shows a suspicious lesion in a right lung. He has no past medical history or not, and is a lifelong non-smoker. An urgent bronchoscopy is arranged, which is normal. What is most likely diagnosis here? So this is a case of lung adenocarcinoma. Most common type of in non-smokers. Peripheral lesions. Clues are the absence of smoking history and normal bronchoscopy, which suggest a peripheral located lesions. Okay. 45-year-old dairy farmer present with increased shortness of breath on exertion. He is non-smoker and has no respiratory history of note. His symptoms seem to become more worse when he is around the farm and associated with chest tightness and non-productive cough. Diagnosis of extrinsic allergic alveolitis is suspected. Which one of the following is most likely to be responsible? That is contaminated hay. Contaminated hay is the most common source of Sacropolyspora rectivigula, which is responsible for farmer's lung. Okay. 62-year-old female admitted with suspected infective exacerbation of COPD. Chest X-ray shows no evidence of consolidation. What is most likely cause organism? Haemophilus influenza. If the patient had pneumonia, then Streptococcus pneumonia would be most likely causative organism. However, the chest X-ray shows no evidence of consolidation, making a diagnosis of pneumonia unlikely. Haemophilus influenza is most common cause of infective exacerbation of COPD. The patient should be treated with course of amoxicillin or tetracycline together with prednisolone. Okay. 67-year-old female presents with a progressive exertional dyspnea. These symptoms have been getting progressively worse over the past 9 months and are associated with a dry cough. He gave up smoking 20 cigarettes per day around 30 years ago. On examination, his oxygen saturation is 97% on room air. Respiratory rate is 14 per minute. And there is a small fine basal crackles. Finger clubbing is noted. B-type natriuretic peptide 88. ECG sinus rhythm 72. FEE1 1.57. FVC is 1.63. FEV1 or FVC is 96%. The investigation most likely to confirm the diagnosis here is progressive dyspnea, worse over last 9 months, dry cough, smoking 20 cigarettes, saturation 97%, respiratory rate 14, bibasal crackle, finger clubbing noted. So here we go for high resolution CT. Yeah. Typical history of idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. Male patient aged 50 to 70 years presented with progressive exertional dyspnea associated with clubbing and restrictive pictures on spirometry. Investigation of choice is HRCT. Normal B-type natriuretic peptide makes heart failure extremely unlikely. Okay. You review 67-year-old man who has chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, examination evidence of cor pulmonale, significant degree of pedal edema, his FE1 over 43%. During recent hospital stay, his PO2 on room air is 7.5. Which of the following intervention is most likely increase survival in this patient? That is long-term oxygen therapy. Yeah. After smoking cessation, common term oxygen therapy, long-term oxygen therapy. One of the few interventions that has been shown to improve survival in COPD. LTOT should be offered in a patient whose partial pressure of oxygen is less than 7.3 or those with PO2 7.3 to 8 and once the following secondary polycythemia, nocturnal hypoxemia, peripheral edema, pulmonary hypertension. Okay. 49-year-old man with a past history of alcohol excess presents to emergency department due to fever and shortness of breath. Chest X-ray reveals a cavitating lesions in the right middle zone. What is most likely organism? So in alcoholism, the pneumonia is Klebsiella. Klebsiella. Okay. Yeah. Klebsiella pneumonia. Friedlander's pneumonia typically occurs in a middle-aged alcoholic man. Chest X-ray features may include abscess formation in the middle upper lobes or empyema. Mortality approaches 30 to 50%. Okay. 55-year-old man is referred to the medical admission unit. He recently returned from holiday in Italy and has failed to respond to a course of amoxiclav for a suspected lower respiratory tract infection. Chest X-ray shows bilateral infiltrates. Bloods are as follows: sodium 122 low, potassium 4.3, urea 8.4, creatinine 130 little higher. What is most likely diagnosis here? So, this is a case of holiday Italy, Legionella pneumonia. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Each one of the following may result in bronchiectasis except amyloidosis. Yeah. Amyloidosis does not cause bronchiectasis per se, but may be seen in bronchiectasis as a consequence of chronic inflammation and infection. So, guys, I already finished with respiratory MCQs. It is second to 39 MCQs. If you have any queries, any question, you can ask me. And if you're new on my channel, please subscribe it. And if you like this video, put like on it. Thank you. Good day. Goodbye. That's all for today.